Okay, so I actually ended up using a different ruler, but you can use the ruler of your choice. I have my scissors, of course, and then I have my gloves. I have my sewing machine. I think I was pointing to that, and my white paper so I can draw a template. I'm also going to use this marker to draw the template, and I have some pens that you'll use later on. But I use 100% cotton. It's black cotton. I started to actually put interfacing in between as a filter, but this is without that, I believe so. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I'm measuring the top 21 centimeters. This can change based on who you're making it for and how big you want it. You can adjust that number. But I also will credit the lady that I got this tutorial from, and I just added, what I needed to add it based on who I was making it for. But I'll add her to the description. The width is 15 centimeters, and then you're going to just make a complete rectangle, and you can see me doing that there. So 21 centimeters by 15 centimeters starting off. I know I did one like 22 centimeters and then 18 on the side, just depending on how big I wanted it or how small I wanted it. I did one for a child, so I had to cut it in half. I did 11 and 7 or 8 on the side, so it just depends on how big you want it, how small you want it. I know these are being recommended by the CDC right now, but also I wanted to include that these masks can be worn for anything. If you're sick, if you're cleaning and there's fumes, if you're a nail tech, or if you're a hairstylist and you want to protect yourself, definitely nail techs too. So these are washable. Mine are washable. You can wash it with cold water, dry it with cold water, and yeah, they're very stylish. You can use any mine are stylish. Y'all's can be stylish too. Just with fabric wise, I try to, as I went on in my journey with making masks, I started to buy test out different types of fabric too. So you can literally make this with any type of fabric. But I found that the thicker fabric, the one that you cannot see through, you can't see light through. They said hold it up to the light. If you can see the light, then it's not a good fabric to use. So that's kind of like a rule of thumb that I started to use. But right now I am measuring from the 21 centimeters, the width, the length. I'm marking off 15 centimeters within those 21 centimeters and making a mark. And then I'm doing the same thing at the bottom, I'm making a complete line 15 centimeters across. And then from that line, 3 centimeters from the on the inside. You're going to make a mark, and you're going to do 2 marks and make a whole complete line. So yeah, you're just creating your mask shape right now. This is my template. You don't have to use a template, but it works for me because I'm doing multiple masks, and I can just pull this out and put it on any type of fabric that I want. For the middle. This is so intense. Oh my gosh. Let's see. What is the middle of 15? I couldn't get it together, guys. Be back. All right, so we found the middle. So we're gonna mark. We thought we found the middle. So when you find the middle, you want to mark it because this is going to be the central point to making the curve of the mask shape. So it's very important to make sure that you have the center of this line. So we're going to mark that, and then from that point, you're going to take your ruler and From that center point, you're going to draw a diagonal line to the bottom, that next line over. It's better to just show you guys what I'm talking about. But you're going to draw diagonally down to that second line. There we go. To make a triangle, just like so. Okay, so now that we have that, from the top, I drew that you want to go down 5 centimeters and make a mark. And then from the bottom up, you want to draw 3 centimeters and draw a line. Because from these notches, you're going to draw a diagonal to the bottom line, or the closest line. So we're going to do our diagonals, and you'll start to see the shape after we do this part. And I think that you just cutting a template is just good for multiple uses. I can see if you were just doing one, you can definitely do this on the fabric, but just having this template is just easier for me. But yes, you're gonna go ahead and draw a curved line over the lines that you drew earlier, the diagonals, or we can say the triangle, just to get the curve of the, mine's all messy, but you kind of want to trace it as best as you can, just so it can be a complete curve. But now I'm just going to cut it out because honestly, that's it. That's all you have to do to get the shape that you want for this mask. So this is my template, and then I use this for the fabric, and I pin it down on the fabric so that I can cut around it. All done. All right, so this is one that I made limited edition because I have no more of this fabric. Black cotton. This is like regular black cotton. As I went on, I started to get luxe cotton, but this works too. All right, so I'm just picking I'm picking everything off of it because cotton can get kind of dirty. I am folding it into 4 squares so I can get the most of the shape out of this piece. I'm also pinning it down. That's why I showed you guys the pins, because it keeps it in place while you're cutting around it. I love that. It makes it more of a clean cut when you have it pinned down. So you can see me doing it, or pinning the pins on each side, like so. So now it's easier to cut. So now you can just see me cutting around it, and after I cut this out, I'll have 4 mask covers, or mask flannels. Not flannels, guys. I'll have 4 mask pieces. Yeah. So I'm just neatly going around the template, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so obviously I was over it.com, and this is optional, but I just used a rotary cutter to get more fine lines. I love this tool. Just be careful with it because I've cut myself a couple of times with this thing. But I'm just using a cutting board mat thingy and the rotary cutter to finish it off. It just worked better for me, and it's quicker. But yeah. All right, so we have 4 pieces. We're gonna separate 2 and 2 for the mask. So say hello to my little friend. Oh. I did want to say before, excuse me, I did want to say while I'm threading the needle that I started to use a zigzag stitch instead of straight stitch, as I was on like my 50th one, because it's a better hold. But right now I'm just going to do a straight stitch across the mask curve part, just to seal that in. But yeah, like I said, I'm using straight stitch right now, but I transitioned into zigzag because I found that it was a tighter hold. But yeah, just a simple straight stitch right now. And I don't know why I was going super slow because I want y'all to see how it go now. But yeah, I am a beginner sewer, so no judgment zone. Thank you. The tension was really high. I think that's why it was balling up like that. But I did adjust the tension to like 7 instead of 9. But you're just gonna cut that off. So that is done, and you're gonna do that for the other 2 panels too. Okay, so now that both of the sides are sewn, we're going to open them up, and then we're going to put them together so that the ends meet each other inside out though. You gotta remember that. So the side that's going to be on the outside will be on the inside right now. We're going to match all the lines up, and we're going to pin. We are going to pin everywhere, guys, because we want to make sure that it lines up perfect. Actually, so like I said before, I started to do zigzag. I recommend doing zigzag stitches. This one I happened to just kind of be on my first one, so I did straight stitch all around the mask, but it still works depending on how close you have the stitches. So it'll work if you continue to do straight stitching. So here we go. Okay, so now that you've sewn all around, you're just going to simply flip it through. Just like a pillowcase, just like anything that you sew, you're going to flip it through, and we're going to see the mask reveal itself. So now we have the mask, and now this can be with any fabric. You also going to add any fleece, any interfacing, especially for what we're dealing with now. I started to put filters in, but I just wanted to show you guys the basics. So we have a mask, guys. That's the other one I did. Super excited about that one because it's a thicker fabric. All right, I'm using elastic, aka a hair tie. You can use any elastic, you can use fabric. I've seen a lot of creative ways for the earpiece. I just thought this was more resourceful. And they're brand new, but you can use anything. I showed you another option too. It's like a thinner elastic band, but we're just going to fold the sides in like so and pin it. Well, I guess I'm not pinning. See, I changed my method, but I am pinning. Go ahead and pin that just to hold it there, and then sew across to hold the elastic in, and you're gonna do that for the whole side. I thank you guys for watching. I am still selling these on my site. I definitely want to continue to sell these because you can use them pretty much for anything. Nail techs, cosmetologists, if you're cleaning, sick, or anything, you can wash these. They're durable, reuse them. So definitely check out my site if you want to purchase for an affordable price. And if you want to make them, make sure you tag us. Bye. It's only a moment.